I've been messing up a lot lately, which just leaves me really disappointed with myself because I know that I'm supposed to be setting a better example. I have no doubt that this topic will be covered by a lot of people in the future, but I still feel like I should make a video about this myself because I do have something really serious to answer for. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be distant of me after this situation, and I do not in any way blame anyone who feels that way about me because what I did here was a lot of things. It was careless, inappropriate, unprofessional, insane, foolish, unnecessary, and stupid. Really, really, really stupid. For those who don't know, I used to be associated with a YouTuber by the name of Cartoonshi. We had some nice talks, shared a few good laughs, and in spite of everything I did enjoy his company. Then, a few days after my re-review of The Last Jedi, he blocked me on all platforms and kicked me out of his Discord server when I didn't do anything to break its rules. But he never reached out to me to explain why. I had no idea what was going on and I just wanted to know why he cut me off without an explanation. In pursuit of this information, I went to talk to somebody else who used to be a friend of mine, Blare TV, who will be important to this story as we move forward. I asked her if it was possible to talk to Cartoonshi because I really wanted to know what was going on. She went to ask him what was going on and she came back to me saying that he doesn't want to talk about it. It was really clear that Cartoonshi wanted time to himself, and I was willing to respect that. So for the longest time I was willing to put him behind me and not try to look into why he cut me off. I still had respect for him, and the company he provided for me when we were associated. I hoped that he was doing okay, even though I couldn't say this to him directly. But then I came across this comment where he goes into more detail about why he cut me off the way he did, and it turned out that his reason for doing it was just petty. It ended up being the usual nonsense that my hatem likes to get butthurt over very easily. Being rightfully angry with corporate mongoloids that repeatedly insulted people's intelligence and just wanted them to eat their garbage in exchange for their money, and calling out idiots on Twitter, DeviantArt, or elsewhere when they say something stupid. I'll admit, this made me frustrated, and I did vent about it in a couple of places, but I did my best to not make this public. I wanted to try and put this behind me because I knew I had more important stuff to work on, but after a while something started to bother me. This feeling of unresolved conflict with Cartoonshi. But this just felt different from other people whose ties have been cut with me. Unlike the others, I still had some respect for the guy. I know it's a stretch, that I'm being this friendly with someone that I don't actually know personally. All I really know about him is the conversations we had on Twitter or Discord, but I really did value the talks that we had. I didn't want to message him all the time because I didn't want to think I was smothering him. I think I did it every once in a while, or maybe once every few weeks. It was a long time ago, I really don't remember how frequently I messaged him. But they were still nice talks, checking on him to see if he was okay, asking about any family issues, backing him when he was getting backlash on Twitter, which is why it bothered me that he just cut me off without explaining why, or didn't bother to reach out to me to explain how he was feeling. And for a while, that's what was in the back of my mind, not getting proper closure with him. There was a part of me that wanted to talk to him, straighten things out, try to end our relationship on a better note. There was just one problem. He still had me blocked on all of his platforms. So I tried talking to him using an alternate Twitter account. I asked about DMing him because I wanted the conversation to be private. But he said he was suspicious of me since he noticed that my only other activity on this account was speaking against people who had Freudian excuses for trying to demonize me. And this is where things get nasty. Instead of simply telling him it was me, I was pretending to be another person. I talked to him about everything that happened, cutting ties with me, how he did this almost immediately after I tried to ask him for help, dealing with people making false accounts on Twitter trying to steal my identity, and why he didn't just try to explain why. I wasn't trying to cause him any harm. I was just trying to open him up to the prospect of trying to talk with me about what happened. But the method in which I tried to get him to do this was terrible. I mentioned information on my upcoming hateum video. It looked like I was thinking about featuring him in it. Now, before I say anything else, I want to make something very clear. I was never planning on making Cartoonshi a subject in that video. He didn't do anything to me to deserve it. It's about the people who participated in my online harassment. People who spread lies and false information about me while delving into their hypocrisy. Neither of which Cartoonshi is guilty of. But from there it only got worse. Eventually I started getting messages from Blare TV, the person that I mentioned earlier. She sent me messages about the situation asking me if I knew what was going on, and stupidly I told her what I wanted her to think because I was trying to maintain my cover. There was this nasty back and forth between her DMing my alt, me trying to talk to her as the alternate person, trying to explain my motivation, then her coming back to DM me on Discord. I was being manipulative, deceitful, and it was very wrong. I was doing it because I thought there was no other way to start a conversation between me and Cartoonshi because I wanted that closure. I really just wanted to talk to him, and I tried to keep this up the best I could. Trying to be lenient, trying to sound non-threatening to Cartoonshi and Blare, but it didn't last long. Looking back, I really should have seen this coming. Eventually, Cartoonshi made a thread about the alternate account, and even when that happened, I was still trying to convince Blare that we weren't the same person. I was going to tell her that it was me at some point, but I was waiting for the right time. However, this didn't stay between us for long. Eventually, Leo Convoy found out about this. He wasn't happy. I knew I couldn't lie to him for long, so I told him the truth. He made it clear that he did not want to see me pulling this stunt again. And after everything he's done to help me, I felt really embarrassed and ashamed. And there was another person I knew I had to tell the truth, Blare TV. I told her the truth. She told me how she was very angry and betrayed with me, and she said she was going to cut ties with me. And I respect her decision. She's not entitled to be associated with me after this. I was being dishonest and manipulative, and regardless of my intentions, it was bad. One of the last things she said to me was how Cartoonshi was panicking because he thought he was going to be in that video. And even though I made it clear I wasn't going to do that, I just felt horrible when finding out that he was panicking. I was never trying to scare him or antagonize him in any way. And I am so sorry that that happened. I'm not sure how many people will believe me when I say this, but I never intended to cause him any sort of harm. I wasn't even angry at him. I was just trying to get him to talk to me. That feeling of unresolved conflict and closure, I felt like it was just gonna be in the back of my mind until I talked to him. But now I'm guessing that's not gonna happen. I did this because I wanted closure with someone I used to be a friend with, but it was closure that I was trying to force. I went about this completely the wrong way, and I wasn't thinking about looking into other options. At the time of this recording, I have deactivated that alternate Twitter account because I want to get rid of any temptation to use it for anything else. It has caused me nothing but trouble, and I truly, deeply want to learn from this experience. I know that apologizing and saying sorry isn't going to cut it because this was a really serious act of dishonesty and betraying people's trust, but I at least want to try, to let people know that I genuinely regret what I did here. Cartoonshi, I am so sorry. I'm sorry I lied. I'm sorry I scared you. I never meant to cause you any ill will or harm, and I know that you probably never want to speak with me again, and I completely understand your decision in doing so if that's what you want. Blare TV, I really am sorry. I am sorry that I manipulated you and abused your trust. I am sorry that I threw your friend into a state of panic. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be honest with you from the start. Anyone else that I lied to and deceived with these actions, I am sorry to you as well. If there is anyone else who's going to distance themselves from me or think that I'm not trustworthy after finding out about these events, I completely understand why you feel that way. What I did was absolutely wrong. It was horrible, and I have no excuse for it. And I know that there is a lot that I'll have to do to regain people's trust, if that's even a possibility. And I believe that one of the first steps to that is taking a break from social media, probably for about a week or two. If you listened to this video up until the end, I thank you for taking the time to listen. I apologize for my dishonesty, and I promise to never do something like this ever again.